Good morning, everybody. Orin J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to do one of the most requested videos I get in my YouTube comments, I get in Discord PMs. Everybody wants to see this. They want to see a UR unit tier list. Now, specifically, they want to see a non-limited UR unit tier list. So, in this tier list we're about to do, there's no collaboration units, there's no selection quest units, there's only units that you can get by pulling on like regular banners, or units you will just hit randomly when you get a random like rainbow crystal and oh, it's Frederica! And should you be happy about that or not? I'm going to give you my opinion on all of these units right here. This is your pool of units, global, non-limited URs. Let's do it. Okay, so let's jump in. Now, the reason I'm doing this now, Farm is coming out this Wednesday. She is the last unit that's going to be in this pool for at least like 3 to 4 months. There was a lot of collaborations coming up. There's a lot of limited units coming up. Christmas, Valentine's Day at some point. So it's going to be a while before this pool catches any new units. So this list will be able to be stable and useful for a little while. I also want to point out though, some of these units don't have their EX yet in global. This is purely a global list, period. It's a global tier list. So there's that 99 category at the bottom. If these units don't have an EX yet, I'm sticking them in the 99. I'll still talk about them a little bit, but they're going in the 99 tier because they just don't have the stats to hang in most situations. I know Garvel's OP, but they don't have the stat pools, I think, to hang with the EX units. So, let's kick it off. The first section here is Whisper through Victoria. These are the 70 cost units, the cheapest of the UR units in global, and Whisper is the first one. I'm going to drop Whisper into C tier. Now, Whisper fans are going to crucify me for this, and yes, Whisper is a resist tank. She can get to 100 resist fairly easily. However, in the current state of the game, which I'm making this video in the current state of the game, it is almost impossible to find mono attack type teams. Every unit seems to have 2 or 3 types of attacks built in. Some of them have physical, some of them have magic. Yuna even dropping space chickens on you. So it's very, very difficult to make Whisper work. I don't think she's bad. I think she's very usable. She's just fine. And any unit in C tier or higher, 100% able to do the job for you, except for the ones at like the very, very bottom. And we'll get to those. Okay, next up, Eileen. Y'all know, Eileen is my girl. Eileen is my girl. So I'm going to put her in at... No, I'm not going to put her in S tier. I'm just kidding. Eileen's going to go in B tier. Eileen has one job. Her one job, kill people on the other team. She does a lot of damage. Her raw attack stat, one of the highest in the game, but she needs a lot to work. She needs agility. She needs human killer a lot of times if you want to go Drain Force. She needs Oldoa's TMR right now. She will get better, I think, with her Master Ability 2s, but for now, she's hanging out in B tier, and I think she's hanging out even maybe like mid to low B tier. We'll see how it goes as we move on. Next up, Big Daddy Engelbert. Now, Big Daddy Engelbert would have been like a bottom of C tier character before EX jobs. After he EX jobs, I think he is low A to high B tier. You know, and I'm going to drop him into low A. His move, his hate generating buff that also gives him courage is insane. Light is really, really strong right now. And if you're playing like, right now there's a limited Guild Wars going on. You run like Fina Engelbert or Una Engelbert. This dude is a wall to get through. Is he kind of slow? Yes. But as far as physical tanks go, one of the best physical tanks in the game. Easy to build too. You just stack defense and some resist on him. He pops off. I think Engelbert is probably low A to high B. Next up, Ma Cherie. Ma Cherie, I'm going to drop Ma Cherie into C tier. I'm going to put her ahead of Whisper, I think. I'll put her... They're somewhere together. They're hanging out down here together. Remember, these are 70 cost units. They're not necessarily supposed to be OP. Ma Cherie has a really good move, right? She has Hallowed Ray at 120 that does a lot of damage, gives her defense and spirit, and she can become this like super hard to kill damage dealer, and she has her buff Calamity Strongguard. but like really situational. Her best move is a status effect resistor. You just don't need that all the time, and it doesn't resist all of them. So I'm going to drop her in C. I don't think she's a top tier unit, but again, very usable because light is so good. Sakura is next. Sakura is a level 99 unit. She's one of the better level 99 units, and if you're a newer player and Sakura is one of the first units that you've gotten, I think you're fine. When Sakura's EX comes out, I anticipate her rising way up in this list. For now, she's a good mage, just sticking her in the 99. Okay, Victora is next. I really, really liked Victora's EX job, you guys. I'm going to put Victora above Eileen in the B tier. She does a ton of damage. Like Eileen, she does more damage than Eileen, I'm going to say. I know, I love Eileen, but Victoria does more damage. Ice is really strong. If you have the right combination of like vision cards and a team that can help Victoria not die, because her biggest weakness is she dies very easily. I recommend something like a zombie TMR on her, something like that, but she does a ton of damage, she kills people good, and if the AI can figure out how to get her limit break going, that charm is really, really good. So Victoria's going to be high B tier for me. Next up, Ayaka. Ayaka is another high B tier character. Good healer. She does healing. She heals really well. Her defense penetration lifesteal buff is really strong. She's solid. B tier healer. Great. Okay, Corwell. I'm actually going to drop Corwell into B tier. I was lower on this guy when he first came out. My impression of him has increased over time. I'll put him low B. Like I don't have a ton of insight on him. I think he does he does damage. He's wind. You can run him with like any of your other wind characters. He's fine. B tier. Okay, El Sorel, 99, level 99 unit. Again, one of the newer units that came out like right before EXs. I think her EX will make her really good. If you have her right now, I don't know, 99. Not going to say a ton. Frederica is next. I'm going to drop Frederica into low A tier. Frederica is like one of the first units we ever got in Global, right? One of our very first banners was the Frederica banner, and she just hasn't let us down since then. She pairs really, really well with a lot of the other Lightning units and like Lightning is in a good spot, by the way. Cloud, Charlotte, all these super good units. Frederica does a lot of damage, has a lot of range, does big AoEs, is very easy to use. And remember, this is an auto PvP tier list, you guys. So the character being smart has to be factored in here. And Frederica's AI is pretty decent. Like she stays back, she shoots people, she buffs. It's pretty easy. Pop bells go off. Okay, Garvel. He's level 99. I'm going to put Garvel at the top of the level 99s. I will sort this by how strong I think they are. Garvel, even without his EX, fits somewhere into like B tier, honestly. I know in tournaments, he's often one of the people who like hard carries tournaments, even at level 99. Once he gets more stats, once he gets those EXs, he will fly up this list. Okay, Glassy. Glaciella is next. She is another B tier character in my opinion. Again, a lot of damage. She is a lot tankier than those other spear units with her, like Victoria, Eileen. So I do think she's better than they are. Like this, that's my opinion right here. Really good PvE unit as well. I know that's not necessarily what this tier list is, but she has that multi-hit attack. She's a leap striker. She does a lot of damage. She's a nice bruiser. I like her in B. Howlet. I'm going to drop Howlet about right here. This dude's EX is going to be great. Until he gets it, it's hard to use him. He dies too easily. But Jamming Thrust, big damage unit, right? Drain Evocation into Hazard Slash, lethal combo. He goes right there. Ildira, I'm going to drop Ildira into the higher 99s. She's a arithmetician. Once her EX comes out, she has instant cast heals, instant cast AoE damage. Great level 99 unit, but that's where she goes. Kilfei, she's down here with the crew, hanging out. Level 99, she is a bruiser mage. If you've never used her, she's very, very good. Another character I'm really excited to get her EX, but right now, hard to judge her. Okay, Kitone is next. Now, I think this one's going to be a little bit controversial. There are a lot of people that are very, very high on Kitone, and I do think Kitone is a good unit. I think some people think Kitone belongs about here, or maybe some people are crazy. I think they think she belongs here. I think Kitone belongs about right here, top of B. Now, let me tell you why. Look, she fits really, really well into a like you are Zazan evasion group. She is kind of the like third piece to a lot of Earth comps, I think. But I do think she is the third piece. I know Drain Force is really cool, and people are really infatuated with these like big carry Drain Force builds. I play Earth a lot. And in my like Zazan Ketone teams, Ketone is the one who carries it the least. I think she's just fine. Like B tier, super usable. She's legit. She has stop on her limit break. Drain Force is cool. She has multi-hit attacks and stops, but she is not overpowered. I'm going to put her top of B and just hang out there. I'm good on her, but not super great. Okay, Laswell. Boom. I'm putting Laswell bottom A. I think people are sleeping on Laswell. His shield is really good. Blocks any sort of damage one time. I really like that. You give this dude, he can pop bells in his shield. He has survivability. He can be really evade. He has piercing damage. He can do a ton of damage, especially when paired with somebody like a Victora or in a really strong ice team. I like Laswell a lot. A tier. Lemure. Okay. You guys, Lemure is a tough one for me. I have not used her even once. I will say AoE haste is really, really good. I'm going to put her like C. It's an auto PvP tier list. If she's making up one of the slots in your group, I think that means the other two slots in your group need to pop off. So she's usable. If you have two other units that she can empower to do a ton of work, I think in theory that's great. But that does not necessarily make her strong. It makes her like an enabler. So I'm just going to drop her into C. And I'm going to be good with that for now. Luell. I think Luell is really strong. I'm going to put Luell top of B for now. Bruiser Mage, sort of like Killfay. She's kind of the modern version of Killfay in my opinion. Lots of defense, has life or has spell vamp with her geo absorption skill, does a lot of damage, is hard to kill, but not great into mages. Mages will kind of eat her alive. Okay, Lucia, not level 99 yet. She's a chainer, PvE chainer. I don't know, don't really like Lucia. Luartha, I'm going to drop her down here as well. I think Luartha's EX looks pretty cool. She does a lot of damage, but again, for right now, she's just kind of this like gunner who gets kind of wrecked by terrain and stuff. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Medina. I'll drop Medina into C. I don't know, she's down here with Mashari for me. Medina does a lot of damage, but she feels really dated. Even as her EX job, she just dies so easily. Like, the most impressive thing I've ever seen Medina do is duo with Orin to kill a level 100 raid. Boosted my opinion of her like crazy in PvE, but this is an auto PvP tier list. I don't trust the AI to keep her alive. She's sort of like a one Medina bomb and done in my opinion, so I'll put her into C. Okay, Miranda, level 99, right? She needs that EX job. Miranda's really cool. Like, Miranda's a super cool unit. Jamming Thrust, Time Magic. I think she has a ton of potential for her EX, but right now she's hanging out with the 99s. Nivlu, again, kind of the same thing. I'm going to put Nivlu like up here. Really strong Time Mage, Quicken, Haste, all of that. Her damage at level 99 is sort of lacking. We actually looked at her EX on stream earlier, and I think her EX is going to be really good for her. For now, she's hanging out with the no EX love squad. Now, next up, King Elda. I think King Elda went from like, okay, watch this. I'm going to put King Elda like right here. Notice like I have a lot of spear units right here. Weird. I'm going to put King Elda right here. I think he's good. I think he's a lot better than people think he is. And I think him making it into B tier means that he got a phenomenal hookup with his EX job, because before he was garbage. He was F tier before in my opinion. I think now he's pushing top of C, bottom of B. Yeah, so he's gonna hang out right there for me. Okay, next up, Oldoa. Yeah, I'm sorry, Oldoa. It's just, you're just not cutting it. She dies too easy, doesn't do enough things. She's just a bottom of C tier character. You built her for her TMR in my opinion, which is really great. Okay, next up, Rain. Okay, Rain, great magic tank, does a lot of damage, putting him in A tier. This dude can like almost negate a lot of mages. The water weakness hurts him a little bit because there's a lot of really strong physical like water carries out there, you know, Titus, Laura Croft, etc. But I do think Rain is really good. If you have him, I do think he's really worth building. I'll throw him in A. Raldor is a level 99er. He's hanging out down there. And then we get to Rob. Now, King Rob is a good unit. I think King Rob's a really good unit. I'm going to put him right here by Katone. Rob needs a lot to work, but when he has that, he pops off. I've run a lot of Rob Elena teams, and Rob has sometimes been the one who's the last one standing, dodging everybody's attacks and just annihilating people. So he can do it. He just needs help. I think he's strong enough. He could push his way up this tier list a little further. You know what? I'm talking myself into moving him down to like here. I'm going to put him right here next to Victoria. He can carry, but he needs a lot of Esper and Vision card help. So I'll stick him right there. If you have what he needs and you have a light evasion team for him, Rob can do the job for you. I'm going to put him middle of B. Okay, Skull. Skull needs his EX. So we'll drop him into like here. I'll put him next to Nivlu. He's kind of like Nivlu. He's the mage version of Nivlu. He does thunder damage, right? Lightning damage. And he has time mage spells like Hasty Quicken. Pretty cool. I'll put him right there. Regular Stern, yeah, you're hanging out down here with like Moshery and company. So a lot of damage, but easy to kill. An OG sort of unit, but I'm going to drop him into C. Okay, Venera. Venera is a great evasion unit. Okay, like I'm reserving the A and S tier, you guys. A tier, yeah, Venera's in there. Venera's as good as Frederica is. I talked myself into it. We're going to put Venera like right here. If Dark is really strong, Dark Evade is really strong, Venera's a dang good Dark Evade unit. I think she needs her Vision card. She obviously needs a bunch of gear. I was going to put her in B. I'm going to drop Venera into A. Jiza is next. Jiza, I'll put Jiza down here sort of next to Eileen. Kind of next to Eileen and Rob. People build Jiza for bells, and I think a whole lot of people stop building her at level 99. Guys, I can tell you right now, Jiza walks out and drops a debilitating fist on a tank. That tank is probably dead. This girl, I made a video once called like One Punch Jiza, and it just is highlights of her one punching like King Mont, one punching all these tanks. Jiza does a ton of damage. Now, she doesn't do really any AoE damage. Her TMR is the best thing about her, but as a damage dealer, I think she's pretty dang good. She's better than these damage dealers in C. I'm going to put her into B. Yerma is the worst of the 120s, so I'm just going to put her down there and see. She only does really slashing damage. She doesn't really have a way of getting around. Like, she's too easy to tank, Yerma is, so I'm going to put her at bottom of C. Next, Charlotte. Okay, we are now, guys, by the way, into the 90 cost units. All the ones that we just did were 70 and 80. Now we're into the more expensive ones, the 90 costers. That's going to be Charlotte through Velric. These units are supposed to be better than the 80 or 70 costers because, you know, that's how they're rated. Charlotte is amazing. In my opinion, Charlotte is an S tier tank. She is. Like, she can get defense. She can get spirit. She can get resist. She is phenomenal. I think, like, I remember when I was watching Dejan do his new player streams, right? The unit he went for with his select ticket was Charlotte. This girl can tank, like, everything. Is she the best tank in the game? No, I don't think she is. But she can generate hate and give herself resistance to debuffs. She can give herself spirit, defense, and regen. She's great. Charlotte is a great unit, S tier character. She's a tank. More. Guys, if you're going anti-mage, you cannot do better than Moore, in my opinion. Moore does a lot of damage. She tanks, like, mages have a hell of a time killing her. Moore is one of the best UR characters in this game. Like, I just think, like, she is so good. Moore is so good. In fact, like, on Valentine's Day Selier's next, I'm put right up here next to Moore. I think these are my first three S tier characters. The first three 90 costers, these characters are better than their counterparts, I think. And, like, this is hard to do. Tier lists are tough. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all this, but then I look at these three. I look at Charlotte, Moore, and Celier, and I'm thinking, if I was a new player, if I could only have a couple units, would I rather have another mage than Moore that's on this list? And honestly, I think I might rather have more than the 100 cost Classy Glassy. Glacialia Regalia. More's that good, I think. Okay, Varouche is next. I think Varouche, really high A tier. I'm going to put him up here, top of A tier. He is like a Halloween little Leela with a sword. His AI, like he has a lot of support he can do, but his AI slows him down. I got to drop him once because the thing with him, he does a ton of damage. He's a really good unit. However, if people on your team are low, he's like, oh yeah, I won't kill the enemy. I'll go heal. Sometimes that's really good. Sometimes that's really troll. This is an auto AI tier list, so I'm going to put him right there into A. Okay, next up is Velric. Velric is probably like top of B tier to me. I don't know. I have a really hard time with Velric. I see this dude pop off all the time. I also see him get like punked all the time. And so, like, he used to be, he had to get nerfed. Back in the day, his Drain Rush attack killed him for all of the damage that he dealt, and he was the best character. Like, he was one of the best characters in the game at that point. He never died, full heal, kill everybody. When that got nerfed, he's a little bit easier to kill now. So I think he falls down a little bit. Is he as good as somebody like Rain and Venera? Probably. So I'll stick him up here, bottom of A. He's a better version of Orin. He's like Orin 2.0 in my opinion. I think he's really good. Okay. Chat is probably like... Twitch chats or YouTube chat is on the stream. I'm not reading it. So you guys can see if they're trashing me or not. This is just my opinion, you guys. This is my opinion. Okay. 100 cost units. These are our 100 cost non-limited units. First up, we've got freaking Gilgamesh. Guys, this is hard. Gilgamesh is a hard one for me. Kotetsu Plus is an amazing skill. He's got haste. He's got a shield. He's got quicken. He kind of does so many things, he doesn't really know what to do with himself. However, he's a great unit. If you have Ice Brand plus 5, his damage is next level. If you don't, his damage really suffers. I think he's low A tier, in my opinion. One of our worst 100 cost units, but still one of the better non-limited units in global. If you build him, I don't think you'll regret it. Boom, there's Gilgamesh. Next up, this next one is probably the hardest one to grade for me. I think, on paper, Classy Glassy looks insane. Like, I think her kit looks really, really good. Maybe Fire's just not where it needs to be. I don't know. I have a problem winning with her right now. I don't know if it's the meta doesn't favor her or what, but I think she's like, she's down here. Like, I think she's better than Gilgamesh, but I don't think she's like really OP, which is weird because she's one of our newer units. Now, she's an older unit in JP because she was one of their like fan votes. I'm just going to drop her into low A. I think she's strong, but I haven't seen, like, I have seen Laswell carry harder than her. I'm just saying. And Laswell has a shield and can dodge. I've seen Venera carry harder than her. I think I have Frederica too highly graded, so I'm going to drop her down. Yeah, I feel better about that. See, these things evolve as I go. I have not seen Frederica carry harder than her necessarily. Just Frederica can get gimmicked into doing it. So, okay. Alright, next up, Black Rose Helena. Y'all know this is an easy S tier. Black Rose Helena, even though Black Rose Helena has aged like a fine wine, alright? She was broken when she came out. She needed her own tier when she came out. She has come back to Earth and is now just hanging out in the S tier with the other OP units. So, boom, there we go. I'm going to throw Black Rose Helena top of S. Jaden is next. Y'all like, Jaden's dang good. Jaden is really dang good. Jaden plus like a Fina, Jaden plus like an Engelbert, Jaden plus Yuna, Jaden plus all of these great light units. This guy is great. Jaden is great. So he's top of S tier. You could argue right now that he might be stronger than Black Rose Helena. Haven't seen him enough to make that call. I have seen enough Black Rose Helena that I'm comfortable with her being towards the top and just saying, great. You just chill there. You've been good for so long consistently. Jaden, I think I might see him struggle a little bit on certain... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. He's there now. King Mont. Best tank in the game. IMO. I do think he is better than Charlotte, but barely. For a 90 cost unit, I think Charlotte is almost as good as Mont. Almost. Like, man, it's close. I am going to give King Mont the edge. I think his ability to disable is really, really strong, and his limit break is insane. Like, the ability to, those status effects, the AI will use the status effects, and when they land, it's like game over, right? So that's why I'm going to put Mont ahead of Charlotte. I think Charlotte takes damage better than Mont does, though. Honestly. Okay, Oberon. Guys, Oberon's great. I don't know if I've seen enough to put him above the tanks. But I have seen, from what I have seen, he's clearly S tier, so I'm going to drop him into S tier. I think he carries harder than these two. He carries harder than Mort and Selir. He's definitely a 100 cost carry. If his shield didn't have a cast time, I think he's like instantly up here. But at this point, we're really picking fine. Like, we're fine-tooth combing it at this point. I'm going to put him into middle S. Middle S, and he might go up. He might go up as I see more of him. And then we have Knight of Ruinstern. Knight of Ruinstern, to me, is down here. Yo, I think I put him below Gilgamesh. Ruinstern is like, no, you know what? You know what? I take that. If he's there, these two are very tied together to me. This is a squad. Now, Ruinstern does more damage than Venera. He does more AoE than Venera, and his AoE by itself probably pumps him, whatever words I'm saying, pumps him up. So I'm gonna stick him right there with her, but I do think he is lower on the 100 cost tier. Like, if you're looking at the 100 costs, Black Rose, Helena, Jaden, King Mont, Oberon, Classy, Glassy, Greg, Ruinstern. It's something like that in my mind. If Ruinstern doesn't dodge, he kind of just dies. And that's sort of his biggest problem. But if he can dodge, if he's allowed to do his thing, especially with Oldoa's TMR, he can really do his thing. And let's look at this. How do I feel about this list? Real quick, let's look over it. I love my top 3. I think that's a baller top 3. These next 4 are fantastic. I really like the 90 costers in S tier. Charlotte, Mort, and Selir being in S tier makes a ton of sense to me. I think Engelbert is very deserving top of A. I think all these units right here deserve to be in A. And I think all of these units are stronger than all of these units. Right? Like, I think Luel almost breaks into like Frederica levels, but I think this tier overranks this tier. I think Victoria is stronger than a lot of them, so I'm going to move her up a little bit. Maybe even, I don't know. We'll see. When Aranea comes out, Victoria's going to go up. But Lemure, I might have been harsh on her. I think she's better than Corwell. So let me do that. Then, if we're talking C tier, I think you go like this. And I'm comfortable with that. And then for the 99s right now, I really like those top 2. I think I'm good with this. Okay, there it is, guys. I am really, really curious to see if YouTube chat has been roasting me the whole time. I don't know. There it is. Hope it was good. I'm out. Peace.